Thank you for joining us today, comrade.
We have no doubt that your report will shed light on this most mystifying situation in a manner satisfactory to KGB.
Thank you, comrades. I worry that my report will only raise more questions. Here's what we do know. On January 27, 10 hikers, mostly students or alumni of Ural Polytechnical Institute, set off for expedition into northern Ural Mountains. The group was led by radio engineering student Igor Dyatlov. The group were all experienced hikers. After failing to check in on schedule, a search was organized. The hikers' bodies were found on a mountain known as Kolat Shiachol, which means Dead Mountain in Mansi. Their tent was cut from inside. 8 sets of footprints led away from the campsite. The footprints indicate that hikers walked calmly away from tent rather than running. Yet, several of the footsteps indicate bare or sock feet, so they slashed open their only shelter and then calmly walked in bare feet and socks in temperatures between -13 and -22 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know why we're using Fahrenheit. In snowstorm.
So they died of hypothermia.
Yuri Doroshenko and Yuri Krivonoshenko were found about a mile away at the remains of campfire underneath cedar tree. They were barefoot and wearing only underpants.
Why would they take off clothes?
Hypothermia can cause feeling of warmth or burning. Victims undress. This is called paradoxical undressing. The bodies were found side by side, but position of Doroshenko's body does not match livor mortis on back. Someone moved the bodies. The next 3 bodies, those of Igor Dyatlov, Zinaida Komodorova, and Rustem Slobodin, were found between fire and tent. Zinaida's body was facing tent, suggesting that they had backtracked toward tent. There was evidence that their bodies were dressed in clothes belonging to the first 2 bodies.
No mystery. Hypothermia.
2 months later, the remaining 4 bodies were found at the bottom of stream. Nikolai Thibault-Brignol's skull was crushed so severely that they found shards of skull in his brain. Lyudmila Dubonina and Zolotaryov both had crushed chests. All had extensive burns on hands, and all of 4 bodies found in stream had extensive soft tissue damage to head and face. Dubonina was missing her tongue, eyes, part of lips, facial tissue, and a fragment of skull bone.
No mystery. Animals must have gotten at bodies post-mortem. Hypothermia.
No animal tracks were found.
Zolotaryov was found side by side next to Kolopetov, as if trying to keep him warm.
Here, don't you die of.
Internal injuries suggested that they had been crushed. I'm told force necessary to cause injuries was comparable to car crash. Yet, there were no matching external injuries.
Avalanche.
We thought that as well, but bodies were only covered by a thin layer of snow and weren't swept away. Not to mention that hikers' footprints were intact, not covered with snow. Corpses had deep brown, tan, and gray hair.
Mummification in cold for 3 months could explain that.
So could radiation, which was found on some of hikers' clothing.
Radiation is everywhere.
The radiation found on 4 of hikers' clothes in the ravine was measurably higher than background radiation levels. And this was after 4 months of exposure to running water, which would imply initially radiation levels were higher before being rinsed off by the stream. A separate group of hikers approximately 30 miles south of Dyatlov group reported orange spheres in sky to the north on same night as incident.
Well,
Similar sightings were being reported for next 2 months by independent witnesses, including meteorology services and military. Film in the Zatolar-Yav's camera shows some sort of unidentified flying object.
That camera was damaged.
But why did he bring camera in the first place if they fled the tent in middle of night? Perhaps because there was something in sky that he wanted to record.
This is preposterous. You have been reading too many science fiction novels, comrade.
Not all UFOs are alien, comrade. We know that our own military was testing bombs in the area. Parachute bombs explode the sky, which could also explain the orange bombs, and damage would produce heavy internal injuries coupled with comparatively minor external injuries, since they go off in the sky. Perhaps the group heard bombs, fled the tent in the middle of the night, got lost, got separated.
Enough of this. You will cease investigations. Case is hereby classified.
But, comrade, we have no rational explanation for hikers' deaths. What do we tell families?
Tell them it was unknown compelling force.
You will like, comment, and subscribe. For more information on mysterious disappearances, you will click on Roanoke, the Lost Colony.